All right, so let's begin a little bit different in our flow than we normally do. Let's start with melting heart. You're going to come up to table pose. You're on your hands and knees. Walk your table. You're on your hands and knees. Walk your feet toward the back edge of your mat and bring your hands right under your shoulders. Look down at your hands and walk your hands 2 hand lengths forward. And then leave your hands there. Sit your butt back toward your heels. Sit your butt back toward your heels. Draw your head down toward the mat or the block. Don't rest your butt on your heels and don't touch your elbows to the mat. This is a stretch for your shoulder joints. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep in and out through the nose. Move your hands forward a little bit more. Set your head down. Spread your fingers nice and wide so we can open up the meridians of the heart, the lungs, the small, large intestines, the pericardial meridian, the Sanjaya meridian. All those meridians run through the fingertips, finger joints, wrist joints, elbows, shoulder joints. In Yin Yoga, we stress the joints. That's a good stress to open up the connective tissue. Lift your head. Lift your head. We're also getting a nice stretch for the lower, check that, the upper back, trying to keep you out of the dowager's hump category. Lift your head. If your posture is rounded and you're leaning in the front, many Americans are like that. We do a lot of work on the computers, we're on the couches, we're driving in our cars. It could affect your respiration, circulation. I hope you're breathing deep. I'm going to use the word breath or breathe more than any word I say. It's that important. Most Americans use 1/6 of their breathing capacity. But you can also move into the cardiovascular disease category if you're hunched forward and the respiration and circulation is compromised. As we go through this Yin class, you're going to be reminded over what Yin is and why it's so important. But the meridians running through the fingertips are what we're stimulating right now. Heart, lungs, small, large intestine, pericardium, and the most important meridian in the body, the Sanjaya meridian. So I need just about another 45 seconds. Each pose in Yin is timed. Every pose is timed. All your resting time is also timed so we can keep the class moving. So yoga means union. You can also use the word joining or yoke. And everyone on the planet already has union. That's between their intellect and their true self, the spirit, the eternal spirit that is with you always. But the problem is we don't listen to it all the time. Hey, psst, your spirit says, when are you going to start doing this? And your mind, your intellect says, I'll do what I want whenever I want to do it. Yoga wants to try to help you find your true self with meditation. We'll talk about that as we go through the class. Let's move to Sphinx. As you draw your body to your stomach, see if you can locate both blocks and draw your blocks up near the front part of your mat. But for now, drop down to your forearms in Sphinx. Make sure your elbows are right under your shoulders. This is a 5-minute pose designed for the whole of the back, although it's recommended 20. As I start the 5-minute timer, you can look straight ahead. There's no reason to have the eyes open. They will open in about a minute. But let's focus on the breath. As you exhale, lift your heart up about an inch or so and push it back. And feel that energy up and down your spine. When we get to our first minute, I'm going to deepen the pose, but try to level your chin with the floor. If you're in any pain or discomfort at any time throughout the class, try to not do the pose and we'll find something else for you to do. So yoga teaches that we're all divine. Quantum physics is a 100-year-old science, teaches that every atom in the universe has a consciousness to it. And that's right in line with yoga. Divinity is everywhere. Open your eyes and look up to the ceiling. Each time you exhale, same thing. Release the lower back and lift the heart. This is 1 minute. The eyes are open to strengthen your optical nerves. We rarely look up with such force. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep. So yoga's trying to help us think differently. Universal, though, thoughts of we're all brothers and sisters. If we're all divine, then if your disparaging word finds someone's ears, you're doing the same to you. If you give someone a certain look, it's the same coming back to you. And when you begin to open your heart to all your brothers and sisters, life is so much easier. Let's droop your head and rest your neck. So before our reading today, I want to share just one more piece of information about yoga, is that we all have sophisticated equipment in our bodies. It's been given to us free and clear. And yogis want to urge you to use it. The most powerful piece of equipment you have is your consciousness. You can think about someone someday, and the next half hour you might see them, or they might call you. You can walk into a room and it's got a heated argument. You can feel it, that energy and the thought. If you find enlightenment, if you find the kingdom within, as Christ said, and all the mystics, masters, avatars, saints, seers, and mystics have told us throughout history that the kingdom is within, then you move 1,000,000 years ahead of humanity. That's what kind of equipment you're carrying around with you. Are you going to use it? Let's draw your chin back up to the level. However, I want you to grab your blocks. You're going to need to bring one block under one elbow, the other under the other elbow, but you have to bring the blocks touching the chest so that your elbows remain right under the shoulders. So Suzanne, pull the blocks in so they touch your chest. When you find your elbows on top of the blocks, resume your focused consciousness on that lifting and that breath. The clock is still running, and we're hoping to finish this sequence in about 1:45. So you're breathing and you're exploring, moving that energy into your spine. So you also have your pineal gland that yogis talk about, that third eye. Every night when you dream, that pineal gland shows you all your pictures. This third eye is your meditative gland to help you see that this temporary existence is an illusion. It's going to end. Your body's going to die one day. The reality is the spiritual realm, the eternal spirit. All right, let's finish up this sequence. Marie, open your eyes and look up. You're slouching a little bit. Lift up. This is for 1 full minute. Now you can feel that symphony of energy going up and down that sophisticated piece of equipment you've been given. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep. And then, of course, you have your chakra system in your spine. Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury. So your body's intended to find its way back home, to discover your true self. It's the supreme goal in all of life, and that's what yoga is, and it's a wonderful journey if you're willing to work hard to find it. Well done, Beverly. Let's droop your head, rest your neck. When you're comfortable, you can carefully come off the blocks, split your elbows apart, and stack your hands under your chin, cheek, or forehead. So we also deal with the ligaments in Yin Yoga. As I mentioned, the joints, the connective tissues of the joints. We try to open up any energetic blockages that you might have in your body. Those are tough to see. Nobody knows where they are. The fascia networks, the thick covering under the skin, will be opened quite nicely today. And your bones even. Let's push up and back to child's pose. Child's pose, you're on your hands and knees. Sit your butt back towards your heels. Drop your pineal gland down to the mat. No more deep breathing. Shut your eyes. So doctors will say your pituitary gland, oh, that's the most important gland in the body. It's located up in your brain area. Also with your hypothalamus gland. But yogis know better. It's your pineal gland, the doorway. You've heard knock and I shall answer. You might have heard, when thine eye is single, the whole body's full of light. So there are many references to that third eye, the pearl of great price, the seat of wisdom. Down through the ages, it's been talked about. This country, though, not much, right? George Carlin calls this country a giant shopping mall. So we're always on the outside. Yogis are looking inward. Let's make your way to a seated position. This is butterfly. We need to counter that back bend with a forward fold. So we'll find butterfly where your feet out in front. Touch the bottoms of your feet together. Now once you get the feet, don't pull them too close yet, but you need to tip the sit bones so you're leaning forward. Then scoop both hands underneath the touching bottoms of the feet. And now you can pull the feet in a little, but make sure you're still tipping forward. And that's it. Exhale your forehead toward the heels. Draw your chin in to the chest. And patiently stress that area of the back. Remember, you have 23 joints in your spine. Each joint in the spine just as important as any other joint in the body. So we're in a study of the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. We're going to read a story to you from Yogananda's commentary. There are many spiritual books. There is not just one spiritual book written in the humanity's existence. Matter of fact, the second branch of yoga suggests we read all spiritual material from all religions, keeping an open mind. Because remember, yoga teaches if everyone is divine, all paths are divine as well. As we'll learn today, there are an infinite number. This chapter is called the Infinite Manifestations of the Unmanifested Spirit. There are an infinite number of names and forms you can give the Creator. So pick one, and you'll do just fine. Some religions think that they have a monopoly on the Creator of the universe, that they're the only ones. Some areas of the world think that they have a monopoly. Yogis will tell you that divinity's everywhere, and no one is any more special than the next. So our sloka today reads, O great yogi, Krishna. Now Krishna in the book of the Bhagavad Gita is representative of spirit. You can use any name you want. It's simply a spiritual realm. And the Bhagavad Gita is representative of the war that goes on between your intellect and your spirit. Krishna's having a conversation with his visitor, and he's trying to help us. The other character in the Bhagavad Gita is the king with 100 sons, but the king is blind, and that's representative of all the pleasures in life. We're blinded thinking that around the corner the next pleasure is going to give you lasting joy, and it never does. So Arjuna says to Krishna, "O great yogi, how shall I always meditate in order to know thee truly? In what aspects and forms, O blessed Lord, art thou to be conceived by me?" So he wants to know, when I meditate, when I look within, when I seek my true self, should I visualize a human form or some other material form, or should I find some other spiritual form that you cannot see? He simply wants to know. So in a moment we'll read the commentary from Yogananda explaining that verse 17 to us. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep. Well done, you can release. Now you only get 1 minute of rest, and we time that. So you can have some counter poses or certain ways to release tension. You might just try seated, moving spinal twist. You could lie down and do the same. It's fine with me. You choose. Arch pose is a good one because it's kind of a back bend. Hugging the knees is nice. Or you can do nothing, right? Just by relaxing, if that's what you choose, can help release any tension that you have caused, right? I had nothing to do with any tension that is in your body. All right, let's come back up to seated. So now kind of a counter pose to the forward folds. We're going to do a slight back bend. This is saddle pose. We almost always do it every class. Choose a leg. I don't care which leg you choose, but draw it back. Try to get some portion of the top of the foot to the mat if you can. If not, you could grab your block and elevate and put the block under your other butt cheek. From here you have 3 levels. You could come with your hands for your inhaling chest expander. You could drop down to your forearms for the same thing, lifting the heart on the inhale. You might make it all the way down. If you can, at that point, bring the arms overhead, maybe bend the free leg. Whatever you choose, go ahead, and I shall start the 3-minute timer, and I'm going to go around and check your work. Now this is saddle pose. Recommend it 15 minutes. We're only going to do it for 3. Can you bring your head back, Marie? Okay, you're fine. Make sure you're breathing at least twice as deep as you normally do as the heart lifts on the inhale. So Brenda, yesterday we were doing this pose over at Harrison Hills. And that's Harrison and Irvington. So Alexis, you can maybe find that location too. Okay? We have a group of wonderful people over there. I've been at Harrison Hills for 6 years. And Brenda was talking about how her doctor was so positive about her experience with her knee because she's had knee issues since she was 15. She says she has osteoarthritis in her knee. And the previous doctor said, I'm going to have to maybe give you a knee replacement. And Brenda's over the age of 50, let's just say. I hope you're breathing deep. But she says the doctor, the new doctor, looked at the x-ray and says, well, at this point in time, I don't see any reason to do anything. He said you have good spacing between the bones. And that's what this pose can do. Not only do the lower meridians run through the knee, the hips, all the way to the toes, right? Stomach, spleen, gallbladder, urinary bladder, kidney, liver meridians. But you don't have to have issues with the knee as this opens up that area. As a matter of fact, fibroblasts can help you in this area as you can grow more cartilage and bone, because when you stress a joint, the cells that are in that area, taking care of that area, they can migrate out. You're opening up the connective tissue, you're hydrating it again, and the cells can do more work for that area. Your body knows how to find perfection, but sometimes we need a little help. All right, you can gently release. Let's straighten that leg and take about 40 seconds to recover. You can rotate the ankle, you can massage the knee. People have been known, practitioners, to recover in as little as 17 seconds, but I don't want to rush you. Take the full 40 seconds to recover. But we'll ask a bonus question while we're waiting. Does anyone know what's next?
Right leg.
The other leg. So when you're ready, draw the other leg back, Suzanne. Try to find a portion of the top of the foot to the mat, right, Elizabeth? And then remember, you have 3 choices, honey. Hands, elbows, or all the way back. I'm going to start the timer. Let's begin. So yoga is designed, it's an owner's manual for your body, to relax your mind. If you're taking each pose in the moment, if you're breathing and exploring, you're not doing much right now. You're listening to my voice, you're breathing, you're feeling a little bit of movement. When the mind relaxes, the body can move into the parasympathetic nervous system. The body can heal itself. Many Americans don't know how to relax the mind. They're stressed out. The body is in the sympathetic nervous system. They're more susceptible to disease and illness. When the mind calms down after a yoga class, you're supposed to then seek that meditation and explore your true nature, the supreme goal in all of life. Anybody can have fun all the time. That's been done over and over again. So our commentary reads from Yogananda. He's written about 50 books. He's a been there, done that yoga master. He died in 1955 at the age of 59. Arjuna salutes the Lord as the great yogi or uniter, he who joins triple factors. The cosmic dreamer. What is the cosmic dreamer? That is the Creator's dream. And we're involved in the dream. It could end any time, couldn't it? Your heart could stop. I may not make it through the class. The Creator is also the creator of the process of dreaming and the objective cosmic dream itself. So Yogananda is calling the Creator the dreamer in one single and simultaneous perception of his incomparable mind. So in one small part of the galaxy, one small part of the universe, we have one small dream on this planet where we're spinning in the space, and we get so stressed out we actually think we're human. As God is both absolute and manifest, that's flesh and spirit, or material and spirit, the same thing that's been going on since the beginning of humanity. The query of the devotee is, shall I meditate on thee as cosmic consciousness or the dreamless spirit? Right? Or on one of thy various dream aspects. What's a dream aspect? That's you and me. That's any human that's ever walked the planet They've all died, and he wants to know, why is it a dream aspect? Because it's a short life. If I worship thee as having attributes, what are thy many attributes and forms? Knowing which I shall know how to focus my mind on thee in meditation. In which of thy manifestations may I recognize thee? There's an infinite number of manifestations according to yoga. Pick one, right? They're all divine. Let's straighten that knee, straighten that leg. Now, unfortunately, I kept you an extra 22 seconds. I apologize, but I had to finish the reading.
So we get longer to rest?
No. You get 40 seconds, and that's all you get. So what I'm going to share, though, is a quick once upon a time yoga story with you while you rest. I'll read that, and then we'll start our yoga music. But I was referencing the diamond. Once upon a time, a man gave a diamond ring to his wife, but he didn't give it to her yet. He showed all of his friends, look at this beautiful diamond I bought for my wife. But his best friend said, hey, wait a minute. I thought she wanted a red convertible Mercedes. And the man said, are you kidding me? I can't find a fake red convertible Mercedes. Okay, let's come up to seated. Let's find half butterfly now. We're going to have to pick the same leg this time. I'm not going to give you a choice. So bend your right leg where the right foot's in front of the groin. The left leg goes out in such a position where you're able to tip and find the center line of the body, the midline, the belly button. So you need to tip over the belly button. You could grab the left ankle area with the left hand. The right hand could draw out. But make sure you drop right down that middle line. Everybody looks great. Make sure you're breathing. So as I mentioned, we dedicating this class to Alexis today. Our reading is a little longer because I get one shot at Alexis, right? This is her first time with me. So I wanted to at least leave her with what yoga is. Normally, I'm done with our reading by now, but I gave everyone, and all the people that are watching the video can get another summary of yoga. It's an indivisible unity, and whether you like it or not, we're all one. But religion separates, but yoga does not. It's not a religion. An individual took a diamond to the marketplace for valuation and asked several shopkeepers about it. The brajal seller opined that 5 baskets of brajals may be bartered for the gem. Now I had to look up the word brajal. It means eggplant. So 5 baskets of eggplant for the diamond. The rice merchant viewed that 2 bags of rice could be liberally given in exchange for it. The draper in his turn held that a bale of linen might be offered for that precious thing. Finally, it was given to the diamond merchant, who alone could value it at 2 lakhs of rupees. Now I had to look up the word lakhs. It's $3,000. In this fashion, the Lord also beheld in varying ways, accordingly to the people's power of understanding. God's glories are verily unfathomable, and that's by Ramakrishna. What he's trying to say is everybody on the planet has a different view of who the Creator is. Let them alone. Don't try to push anybody on any particular path. All paths are divine. And this is the same Ramakrishna that told his disciples on his deathbed, never forget, God is the block, God is the executioner, and God is the victim. So he was trying to tell his disciples, divinity is everywhere. Start treating everyone as your brother and sister. All right, you can come out. Take a full minute to move any way you want, releasing the tension any way you want. You only get 1 minute, Randy, and I mean it. 1 minute only. By the way, you guys can feel the need if you do. You can express yourself. Just because we're on YouTube, not many people are going to watch it. You can relax a little bit. I'm going to have my share of fun. So let's stay on the right as you come back up. But lean back a little bit, like where I am. You might have to lean all the way, I don't know. But bring your right ankle to the left knee, on top of the knee. And then bend that left leg, right? This is for your hip. And now you have to move your hands, your foot, your butt, so you can feel that right hip. And for 2 minutes, just lay the head back, and as you lift the heart on that inhale, try to feel a stretch in that hip. Begin.
I don't feel it.
Watch where I put her ankle.
Oh, okay. So it's not on top of the knee, it's behind
No,
the
it's up. It's behind the knee, or lean back a little. Drop back. Back. Okay, now come up. Straighten your arms, I mean. Good. You feel that? You feel that? Okay, let's have you drop back on your back. Okay, good. Now let's try this one. Lift up. Grab here. Grab this hand between the legs. You're going between the legs. This hand goes between the legs. Bring it around. Yeah, that way you can grab, right? Okay, so that'll be your hip opener.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to do it. You can straighten that left leg, let that right hip relax for about 30 seconds. There will be a bonus question coming up, but it's the specific answer I need. Don't just say the other side. Okay? So we're not going to do the left hip just yet, but we are going to do the other seated pose that we just did before the left hip. Does anybody know the name of that pose? What's that, Elizabeth? Yes, Elizabeth, that is correct. We're going to bend the left leg in front. Left leg bends in front, right. The right leg goes out. Find your midline, just like before, your belly button, and drop straight down the center. This is an angled forward fold. You're never going to find the center, or it's going to be a little awkward, but that's the point. Bring in the breath and explore your half butterfly. Good. This is 3 minutes. So your midline's here. So your hands are here and your midline right there. That's your belly button. You're welcome. Nice deep breathing in and out through the nose. All right, well done. You can release out, and you get 1 minute to counterpose. Move any way that works for you. Whatever you want to do. That does get a little knee, Tom. You feel a little bit of that knee too on that pose as well, depending on your physicality. Marie, are you ready? All right, Marie's ready. Let's join her. We're going to do our left hip, right? So you're going to place your left ankle, just under that right knee. And then sit up. You're going to lie down. I think that'll work best for you. Well, we already did that side. We're going to switch ankles. And then come on up straighten your arms. Bend that right knee. Lay the head back. Perfect, Beverly. Try to find some energy in your left hip as I start the 2-minute timer. So this is a gentle hip opener. There are more aggressive ways to open up the hip. We simply chose this one today. Next time we do Yin, which would be a week from Tuesday. And by the way, if you're here Tuesday, I will be here. It is 4th of July on Tuesday. But I will be here. I'm not going to teach in Vail, so my night Tuesday class is canceled. But I will be here if you care to do a 4th of July class, or if you want to do the 10:30 at the VFW right down the road, Broadway and Old Spanish Trail. I hope you're breathing nice and deep. Well done. You can release. Release. Take a few moments to relax. While you're waiting for the next sequence, our last sequence on your butt, you could draw your block nearby. You might elect to use your block for our first lateral bend. Our first lateral bend of this Yin class. You ready, Beverly? Beverly's ready. This is Beverly. Beverly is my favorite. Now, you could find the block next to your hip. You look straight ahead. You could draw your elbow to the block and find a side bend to your side of choice. I'm going to set it for a minute and a half. You don't have to use the block. Remember, you're looking straight ahead. But I hope your ear can drop to the shoulder. There's 6 joints in your neck. That's it. We don't normally go more than a minute and a half because it's uncomfortable. But just find what's most comfortable for you, whether it's the block or not. And let that exhale just surrender you down and push that heart outside of that side body. Every now and then, push that heart out, that side body or that armpit. Good. And make sure you're breathing at least twice as deep as you normally breathe, in and out through the nose. Let's float over to the other side. Floating over, you're mostly water, nice and juicy, right? You can be juicy or you can be rigid. Choose wisely. Nothing like a juicy yoga body. When you have a juicy yoga body, everyone wants to take a bite out of you. Try to get that ear dropping. So acupressure is a benefit of yin yoga you won't typically get in a regular yoga class or an exercise practice. When you hold a pose, you cut off blood and energetic flow, pressurizing other areas of the body. And also you're going to get pressure when you come out of that pose. Don't come out yet, because that energy and blood goes back into those areas. You can help clean out toxicities from a yin class, physical toxins, preservatives, pesticides, 150 some odd environmental toxins in the air, the food, the water. But perhaps more important, emotional toxins. Many people can build up decades of memories, emotional situations due to life experiences. When those begin to clean out, you begin to transform. People will tell you that you know before you recognize it yourself. You seem more relaxed, you seem more calm. All right, honey, are you ready? Because we're done. Let's finish up this last sequence of forward folds with straddle, so the legs go wide. This is good for the urinary bladder meridian. But once you get the legs wide, tip the sit bones forward, because ultimately you're going to end up in the middle. You might tip forward a few times and get the legs nice and wide. And that's it. Right down the center in straddle pose. And again, make sure you're breathing nice and deep. All right, you can release. Take a full minute to recover. Moving any way that you want to move, Lupe. So we're going to move into our last sequence that requires energy, which is once again Sphinx. After that, we're going to begin to wind down. So try to focus this last 5 minutes. Now typically we don't watch the clock and end right on the hour. Typically we go at a slow pace. And you're usually out of here at about 2:45 Alexis. Most studios will rush you in and out because they need to make lots of money. But we like to go slow. Let's make your way to Sphinx, so you're going to be on your stomach. This is the last 5 minutes of active work. Then we're going to wind down. So try to keep your focus. And we're going to elevate higher this time than we did last. Find your forearms to the mat, elbows right underneath the shoulders as I get ready for the timer. Level your chin straight ahead. Lift up a little, Lupe. Lupe, lift up. No. Just move your elbows toward me and lift the heart a little higher. You're slouching a little bit. Here we go. We've started the timer. Eyes don't need to open just yet unless you need to. The eyes are the receptors of the brain. When the eyes are open, the mind gets to do more work. And that's counterproductive to what yoga is. We want to slow the mind down. When we get to our first minute, we're going to deepen it just like we did last time. When we get to our last minute, we're going to push to Cobra, where the arms will straighten at a higher elevation than when we had the blocks. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep. And as I almost always mention, as the exhale hits, the heart lifts and pushes back a little bit. That energizes. With breath comes movement. Movement comes feeling. With that feeling, it will keep you occupied. Since your consciousness is so powerful, you can draw that energy. Open your eyes, look on up to the ceiling. Same thing, use the breath to lift on the exhale. This is for 1 minute. Each time you exhale, keep looking up. Good for the thyroid gland, by the way, opening that throat. Many practitioners have gone off thyroid medication because of a yoga practice. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep. All right, droop your head, rest your neck for just about 40 seconds. So each pose in Yin has a benefit, has a corresponding meridians that are affected, the physical benefits. I'm not going to read them today. In general, you're opening up, re-energizing, improving energetic flow. And we need Yin Yoga, the affectionate approach to your body. Okay, let's come back up. Take about a minute, reestablish Sphinx. We're not going to lift up yet, Susan. Just come up and bring in the breath again, right? I am going to shorten it just about 30 seconds though, okay? So just focus on reestablishing that posture and that breath. Now in a moment I'm going to cue you to Cobra. Cobra is where you're going to push your hands into the mat, lift your elbows off the mat and attempt to straighten your arms. From that point, for the full minute, you're going to look up to the ceiling with the eyes open. If you can't push your elbows off the mat to straight arms, then you're simply going to have to move your fingertips forward a couple of inches and try again. Kathy Miller, are you ready? Yeah. Let's join Kathy Miller with Cobra. Push your elbows off the mat, look up to the ceiling, Cobra. Look up 1 minute. Try not to slouch in the shoulders. Release that lower back on the exhale and keep lifting and exploring the symphony of energy in your spine. Your spine is very, very happy to be in Cobra. It is singing to you. I can hear it. Thank you very much. All right, gently drop down to your forearms, droop your head. If you're comfortable, you can bring your hands all the way under your head, your cheek, or your chin. All right, nicely done. Your mentality now is we're going to wind down. We haven't done any twisting of the spine. Let's push up and back into child's pose. Sit your butt back towards your heels. Take about a minute break. No more deep breathing. Just rest for a moment. So you can do Ashtanga yoga, which is a power yoga. They teach in the gyms and some yoga studios certain classes. Many yoga studios have a gentle class, a yin class, a back class, and you might have an Ashtanga yoga, power yoga class. But it's hard to take a group of wonderful people like this and wear them out. It turns into exercise, and then you're not calming the mind. You're not achieving yoga. And yoga is all about calming the mind. Let's move to your back, all the way on your back, just like you started. Your head is facing away from me. Let's lie down first to make sure you're on the mat comfortably. Your heels are on the mat, your head is on the mat, because you're not going to move again until I release you at the end of class. Once you're comfortable on the mat, hug in your knees, hug in the knees. So we have to twist. Just keep your focus. We're going to do a high knee spinal twist, so keep the knees high. Your thighs need to stay at least 90 degrees from the floor. Drop both knees to the right. Bring your arms out like wings. Let the knees drop to the right. Head turning left. If I walked by your mat, I'd want to see, Tom, the legs completely released down, so there's no energy. Even if the left shoulder comes up, that's fine. Head turning right. As your head anchors to the right, check that, head turning left, right? My mistake. As your head anchors left, you can move one or both arms overhead as long as they're comfortable. Don't hang an arm in the air. Don't have an arm hanging in the air. You can bring that to your stomach. Good, the timer started. We'll go about 3 minutes per side. Everybody looks perfect. Breath is deep. If it is deep enough, your diaphragm massaging liver, kidneys, and spleen. And as I mentioned, you probably could easily finish the class without opening your eyes again, so the mind can continue to slow. Because all we're going to do is twist the other way soon, recover, and then we're going to go through our 5-minute meditation. Our meditation today is simply moving the breath along with your consciousness, which equals energy. You're moving energy to different parts of your body. All right, let's release. Just hug in your knees gently for 30 seconds. And leave the knees high, drop them over to the left side of your mat. Arms out like wings. When your head gets anchored to the right, your arms could slowly move overhead, one or both, opening up the meridians of the heart, lungs, small, large intestines. The breath is deep. 3 minutes. Shut your eyes. Shut your eyes. Lupe. Bring that shoulder up. Let that shoulder come up. Kathy Miller. Set it down. You can hug in the knees. That's going to do it. Hug in the knees. Take a full minute to recover. Hug in your knees, young lady. Hug in your knees. So we're going to give you a minute to recover. We're going to move toward the second most important pose in all of yoga, your final 5 minutes of rest. We only offer it after the Yin class. We've been doing Yin about 2.5 years. Only about the last 7 months we've offered a 5-minute meditation. Today is no different, where we'll be moving your breath and energy and consciousness to different areas of your body. If you should lose your way in the meditation, that's okay. You're still finding quietude of mind, which is what yoga is. The most important pose in all of yoga, we always talk about it, is to seek the kingdom within, discover your true self through meditation, the most supreme goal in all of life. I'm hoping in the next 15 or 20 seconds you can release the knees, melt into your mat, and I'll start the meditation in just a few moments. We're going to read a meditation by Jan Baker. So each time you exhale, as we begin, try to melt into your mat. Each time you exhale, feel more relaxed and released. Relax it. Try opening up. A little wider. Just open up to the universe. Each time you exhale, drop further and further. Allow your body to go loose and limp. But you're still centered to its position. Let's move away from the exhale. Each time you inhale, draw the breath and energy through the left fingertips, up the left arm to the left shoulder, across the neck. And each time you exhale, draw that breath and energy down the right shoulder, down the right arm, out the right fingertips. So on your inhale, the breath and energy drawing up through the left fingertips, left arm, shoulder to the neck. Exhale from the neck to the right shoulder, right arm, out the right fingertips. Continue moving the breath and energy and consciousness. Inhale, left hand up. Exhale, right shoulder down. Let's reverse. Let's move away from that. This time as you inhale, draw that breath, energy, consciousness through the right fingertips, up the right arm, right shoulder to the neck. Exhale, down the left shoulder, left arm, out the left fingertips. So we're going the other way. Inhale that energy, the breath, the consciousness through the right fingertips, right arm, right shoulder to the neck. Exhale, left shoulder, left arm, out the left fingertips. Let's move away from the hands and arms. This time, as you inhale, draw the energy, breath, and consciousness through the left toes, up the left leg to the hip, and then the base of the spine. As you exhale, take it from the base of the spine down the right leg, all the way out the right toes. So on the inhale, the energy, left toes, left leg, hip to the base of the spine. Exhaling, base of the spine, out the right hip, right leg, and the right toes. Continue moving that energy. And just like last time, let's reverse. As you inhale, come up the right toes, right leg, right hip to the base of the spine. As you exhale, out the left hip, left leg, out the left toes. Inhale, right toes, right leg, right hip, base of the spine. Exhale, base of the spine, left hip, left leg, out the left toes. Lastly, let's inhale from the base of the spine all the way up the spine, out the top of the head. Lastly, as you inhale, take it from the base of the spine, up the spine, all the way out the top of your head. As you find your way back into this temporary illusion, this dream that we're in at the moment, see if you can gracefully make your way up to a comfortable seated position. So I hope that class wasn't too gentle. It's more simple. I enjoyed it as well. So if you'd like, you can draw your hands to the heart center as always. Thank you all for coming out for such a delightful experience, sharing your yin yoga with me and with each other. Alexis, thank you for being here as we dedicated this class to you. We hope to see you again. And best of luck with your yoga journeys. Today's closing from Rudra Shivananda. Not the body, not the mind, eternal spirit, I am. I hope your weekend is meaningful. Namaste.